You are live. So we're live. I haven't done one of these in a while. It's been a couple of months since I've done an actual formal kind of live stream. Um, if you notice at the bottom of the screen and scrolling, if you post a comment, just leave your name so I can know who you are, so I can shout you out, or we can kind of converse about this. But um, it's kind of a topic that I've been dwelling on the last couple of days, actually the last couple of weeks. Matter of fact, I think I did another live stream about this, where I kind of did a surface level observation of this probably about 5 months ago. I did a lot of that on YouTube, but this one's going out to multiple channels. So today we are going to talk about the passive income hustle. And at this point, it is kind of a hustle. There is no shortage of YouTubers out there that are willing to sit there and tell you that you can quick fast your way into some passive income if you just follow these simple steps, or if you just watch this video. And invariably what they give you is some business model that actually does work. It's not a lot of these actually do work, but there's a lot of caveats that go with these business models that they present. They give you some business model that and they basically sell it. The way that they use it is kind of clickbaity, where they make it seem like you're going to do this in one day. So a lot of the title cards, and if you know the YouTuber thing, a lot of the thumbnails will say something like make $1,000 in one day, or how to earn $500 a day using blah, and it's whatever that business model is, or whatever thing that they're trying to get you into. And again, these things actually do work, but uh, as you guys know, results may vary. And so I wanted to kind of have this conversation to let people know that. And I think the thing that kind of sparks it is I see a lot of people that are in these business circles and a lot of Black business groups and stuff on Facebook that I kind of skim and peruse, and I'll occasionally put content in there. But I see a lot of these posts in there where it's somebody talking about, and invariably it's always somebody talking about how they're building out their income streams and how they're getting some passive income, and they're really focusing on growing passive income and income streams. And the two words, the two universes just collide, and it ends up being essentially just somebody that is interested, that has looked into it, but hasn't really put 10 toes down in it. And so that's why I want to get into it. I want to kind of do a little bit of myth busting here. I can talk about some of the different ones that I've actually used and actually done, because I'm not going to talk about ones I haven't tried myself. And the caveat is all of these can work, but the fast or passive, most of these are neither fast nor passive, and they're definitely not free. You're going to invest. And for business owners, you know how that rolls. Either you're going to invest time, which is sweat equity, or you're going to invest money, or you're going to invest both in order to see something become viable. And that's the real. But the YouTubers kind of tickle your fancy by talking about you can earn $700 a day doing blah. Well, you can. In the best case scenario, you may be able to, but we'll talk about exactly how you can get to that best case scenario and why most normal people aren't it. So I do have a little bit of an outline that I'm gonna follow, so I'm gonna be glancing between that and this. I was going to do this just as a video, but I wanted to get it out live because I got so many videos that I have to edit that are in my queue, and I didn't want to add another one to it. So we're going to dive right into this. The most common one I hear is dividend stocks / crypto / forex. I have been an investor for over a decade. Do dabble in crypto. When it makes sense. The thing about it is these markets are highly volatile. And so, especially with crypto, you want to make sure that the money you're putting in there is money that you are fine watching drop to absolute nothing and then come back in a major way. You have to get used to, because it's more or less forex on steroids. The forex currency exchange market is very, very volatile, and it's known to fluctuate, and it's known to destroy newer investors that wade into the water if they haven't put in the road work. And sometimes, even if you put in the road work and you do all of the learning that's required of it, you'll still go through the peaks and valleys of it, because you have to gain the experience too. It's not enough just to know about it. You have to actually experience it. and then the dividend stocks, of course. Here's the thing. Dividend stocks are probably the closest thing that you're going to see to true passive income in a lot of senses, because you don't really need to invest any time after a certain point. And I'll put my caveat in there because you do have to invest some time into it. But you buy the stock, you hold the stock, and you take the dividends as they come out. And there doesn't get much more past than that, but you need to have a pretty good reserve of cash on hand to even think that you're going to live off dividend stocks. You have to have a good cash investment up front. And so you gotta put the money up, because if you don't have the money, you're not going to go from zero. You're not going to start from zero and expect that you're going to be living off your dividend stocks in a year if you're coming from zero, unless you have a job that creates a lot of cash and you have a lot of spare money just laying around that you can just pour into an account. But still, you have to accumulate that money and get it in there. And so I think the idea that people think that in 1 year they're going to go from working to living off dividend stock is not realistic, especially if they're not investors to start with. The other side is you have to put in the time to learn about how the market works, and you have to be able to find the stocks that are good. A lot of times you can't just listen to this person tell you this is a good stock, or this person tell you this is a good stock, because it may not be a good stock for you. You have to, and my strategy is a lot of learning about what the company does, learning how, what market forces move the needle for the company before I make a firm decision on what I'm going to put money into. And so I think people underestimate the amount of time that kind of studious stuff takes. And they also underestimate the fact that it does take a good amount of money to get started in that, especially if you're talking about living off of that. And, I've heard people talk about retiring early with dividend stock, and they're talking about, well, I put about $5,000, a year into it. It's going to take a while to get to that point where you have enough built up in accumulation to do it. And I know compounding and a lot of other things happen, but let's be realistic. You're going to need to put in a good chunk of money up front, especially if you're talking about the fast part of it. If you're trying to move with speed, you're going to need to put up a lot of money in dividend stocks, and you're going to have to take time to learn which stocks are good investments and which aren't. Like I said, the other side is, I mentioned crypto. The thing about crypto is it's a new market space, and the rules are changing daily. And you can, I've seen people make a lot of money doing it, but I've also seen people get burnt really quick because they try to dive into it and they put all their money in one asset, and that asset either goes to the moon or it gets destroyed. And a lot of times what happens is your first major loss, and this goes for stocks too, but especially with crypto as well, your first major loss is jarring. And a lot of people panic when they're going through their first major loss, and the first thing they want to do is hit the eject button. So now you're taking these losses that are just hypothetical on paper or in the digital space, and now you're making them real life losses. And then the thing bounces and you done panicked and pulled all your money out, but you locked in those losses. So you lost all that money. And now you got to start from square one. And that's the toughest part. And most people don't have, you got to build up the scar tissue to that. You got to get immune to that. The wild swings and swings of the market. You can't get drunk on the success when everything goes to the roof, and also terrified of the pitfalls when everything falls through the floor. That's the real. So, but I'll go through my points here. You need money to make these things work. If you have no money, they will not work for you. In order to play the dividend stock, crypto, Forex game, you have to have money. You also need to do your homework so that you understand what moves these things so that you can plan accordingly. You are always hostage to the markets. Even with dividend stocks, you're still hostage to a degree to the markets. And it does take a time investment to become proficient, to know the rules. The thing that you got to be really leery of is the tax man, because especially if you're in this day trading thing, you could have tremendous success day trading, but if you're not aware of how the taxes are going to take a chunk out of what you make, you could be starting past zero. If you get what I mean, when you try to realize all that, you can be at zero or below zero, and owe money, more money than you actually have, and it's you can easily do that. So just be aware of that, especially if you're spending the money as it comes in. So it can really almost be like a negative feedback loop. So you got to be very, very careful of that stuff. All right. The next one I hear on YouTube all the time is, and this is the big one I hear because I'm in the marketing space, I'm in the tech space, I'm in the business space. And so a lot of the video content I consume on YouTube are circled around those areas. And I'm also in the content creator space. And so a lot of videos that I consume are in those areas. The affiliate marketing. And if you don't know what affiliate marketing is, let me help you real quick. Basically, affiliate marketing is, so I make a video on YouTube and say, hey, it's about this specific product. It teaches you how to use this specific product. If you want to use this product, click the link below and you get a free trial, or, we'll let you in at a discount price or whatnot. Once you click that link and sign up, then I get a kickback for it. That's affiliate marketing. I get a small kickback for it for anybody that I get to sign up through using my link. And I've seen people use Amazon affiliates. They actually pay pretty well. Amazon affiliates, if I'm not mistaken, depending on what your product is, and I'm not going to throw percentages out there, but you get a decent chunk, and then you also get a chunk of whatever else they buy on Amazon within that 24-hour period. So if they buy the product that you're talking about, with your link, and then buy anything else, then you get a chunk of that. And so those can be chunky little commission checks that come along. I'm affiliate with my affiliate is Constant Contact. I'm in their affiliate program, and I haven't really been pushing that too hard, but I do recommend it for my clients and the clients that sign up. It's not even that big. It's not a big commission at all, but it's a little chunk. The only reason I'm in their affiliate program is so I can have access to their training, so I can maximize what I'm doing for my clients. So, but it gives, I'm in their partner program. Partner programs, affiliate programs are all the same. From a business standpoint, if you have a business, having your own affiliate program can be a fantastic way to do your marketing, because you're essentially paying people to refer new clients to you. And your client list can grow exponentially using affiliate programs. And there's plenty of them that are kind of that are out there where they'll do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. I don't have any off the top of my head that I'm recommending, but just Google affiliate programs for my business and you'll see a whole list of them. It's a great thing for a business owner to utilize, especially if you're in a digital space. But paying people for referred clients, and then if those clients do business with you, it can really increase your bottom line. If you're selling a product that normally gets you like $80 per sale, paying somebody, an affiliate, paying 8 affiliates $10 per person that they bring in. And if they convert into clients, those are 8 people that are in your system. The money can stack up really fast. But with affiliate marketing, it can work. And I've seen websites. The old internet was really built a lot on versions of affiliate marketing. It can work, and people can make a lot of money doing affiliate marketing. But you have to have traffic. You either have to have an audience established, which means that you've groomed your social media to the point where you have a great audience that is responsive, or you have to have paid traffic. So either you need to put in the time into growing your audience, or you're going to have to pay for traffic. Your salesmanship in those videos has to be on point, yo. Like, you can't just come in and kind of not really talk about the benefits of the product that you're doing affiliate marketing for, because people will not click on that link, and you've wasted everybody's time. Referring people to a bad product can destroy your credibility, and you have to have an audience that's ready that's fine to be that's fine to receive a sales pitch. And that is important. And a lot of people don't understand that you have to have an audience that is cool with, the idea that you are in this game. You're in it to inform, you're in it to entertain, but you also need to make a living off of it. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of people on YouTube and a lot of people on social media, they're super hostile to the idea that people are using their platforms to make money. It's a weird thing. And I do think part of it is a jealousy thing. The other side is they instantly assume it's a scam. But the reality is, I don't have any problem with monetizing my audience. If I'm giving you value and if I put you onto a product that I think is valuable, it's nothing, for me, it's like, okay, then I should probably get a little commission or whatnot. I mean, I don't want people in my audience to think, oh, you should do everything for free. I don't buy into that stuff. So, but affiliate marketing can work, but it takes time to get proficient at it. And you have to have good salesmanship. The next one I have is print on demand. Print on demand is where, the one I'll throw out there, and I know there's plenty of them out there, there's Printable and all kinds of others. The one I've used, it's still in the Amazon ecosystem, and it's been in beta for a long time, but it's kind of a pilot. You got to get invited to it. It's Merch by Amazon, where it basically you upload the designs and market them, and people will buy a t-shirt or buy a hoodie or buy whatever, and Amazon will print it and ship it to them. And you get a pretty decent sized cut. Amazon, of course, is going to get their graft off of it, but it can work really well. And I've seen lots of people have success with print on demand. It's kind of a saturated market now because almost every shirt that you get on it, every shirt that comes across Amazon, every t-shirt or hoodie that you see on Amazon is kind of a print on demand shirt through one of their affiliate programs. But you can make money doing it. But here's the caveat. It's not quick or easy. You have to have the design chops. You have to know how to design a t-shirt that people are going to want to buy. And you have to have a marketing system that markets those t-shirts. A lot of people get caught up thinking that they're just going to get out there and put a great t-shirt on Amazon, and the Amazon SEO will automatically find it with the keywords and push it up to the top. More times than not, you're going to need to find an audience for your specific design and market to them and let them know you got a new drop coming out and get them hyped about the design and logo and stuff, or whatever's on that shirt or whatever's on that product. Get them excited to buy it. And then when it's ready to go, you post the link and then you put a call to action and tell them that here it is, jump on it. It's dope. You can set your own prices on Merch by Amazon. At least I know the other ones you can too, but I know specifically you can set your own prices on Merch by Amazon, and you can compare it to the amount that they're going to take. So you can make a shirt so that you can kind of determine what your profit is per shirt sold on it, and it's not bad, but it takes time. You're going to need to either be a designer, you're going to need to hire a designer, and you're going to need to market it. And a lot of times the marketing is a combination of sweat equity and money. So that's what it is. And again, you're going to need traffic. You're going to need people, especially if you don't have an audience. You're going to need to have people that are going to the Amazon page, going to the link or whatnot. You're going to have a place to post that link. You're going to have a Facebook group or some kind of group where people are looking for your product, or a website or whatever. And you're going to drive traffic to it if you don't have an audience already. So it's not quick or easy. It's quick and easy to get started, but the back end is going to take work. And especially if you don't have design shops, you're going to have to learn how to do Photoshop. You're going to have to learn where to get the designs to do that stuff, or you're going to have to hire somebody on Fiverr to whip up designs for you. And I know on Merch by Amazon, at a certain limit, I think they remove a cap, but there is a cap about how many different shirts you can upload in one day. And that keeps the bots from spamming the site with different shirts and different designs. So that's what it is. One I'm really familiar with is retail arbitrage, man. And I see a lot of people in that space on YouTube. Now, it's not as big as it was a couple of years ago. And I think we could kind of trace the lineage back to the Storage Wars days, where people were watching Storage Wars and trying to go to trailer auctions and all that other stuff, storage unit auctions and cop stuff on the low at a discount, if you will, and sell it and resell it for a good price. Retail arbitrage on Amazon looks like this. You go out, and you can use Amazon, eBay. I've seen people have success on eBay, Poshmark now. But you go out, you find items that are on sale or at a discount, or sometimes at full price. You just got to make sure you're checking on Amazon to make sure it's selling for a higher price, and you're still going to be able to make a profit after Amazon takes its cut. But you source the material, you source the items, and there's specific categories. Some categories are gated, which means that you have to have some kind of assurances from Amazon that you are who you say you are. Sometimes you have to be an actual retailer. You have to be able to prove that you're a retailer in order to do it. There's a lot of different things that you got to do. I know for a while I was doing retail arbitrage on Jordans, and it was good money. It was good money. It wasn't easy money, but it was good money. It was kind of time consuming because I had to go find the deals. But I got about 3 or 4 pairs of Jordans for like $99 a piece, and was able to turn around and sell them on Amazon. They were going for like almost $400. And so that was a nice little come up, minus the $400 I spent on it. It made a decent amount of money, and you can do that. Here's the thing. It's not, you're going to need money to get materials. Unless, I know a lot of people, their entry point is books. And if you have a lot of books in your house, that's where people get started. It's reselling books on Amazon, but the books have to be in good repair. They can't be torn up, beat to hell or anything like that. And sometimes some books will be randomly gated too, so you couldn't sell them on Amazon if you wanted to. But you're going to need money. You're going to need inventory. You're going to need an inventory and a cash flow system. You're going to need a way to track your inventory, and you're going to need to know how much money you've spent versus how much you're bringing in, because those two numbers can start blending together. And if they blend together too much, you're going to find that you're spending more to bring in less, and that's not a good position to be in. You got to constantly be out on the grind sourcing materials. When I was doing retail arbitrage with Amazon, I was still working my full-time job as a director at a local youth shelter. And I was tired at the end of the day. And there was nothing worse than, okay, I got done here. Now I got to go to the store. I got to go through the thrift store. I got to go online and find these deals. And then I had to spend time sourcing, packing, listing, and shipping these items. And so your weekends were kind of consumed with it. You can make good money doing it. And if I was doing it full time at the time, if I stuck with it, it would have been a 6-figure deal. But you got to put in the time to grind. And as you get more proficient with sourcing items, you're going to find out which items are a waste of your time, which ones really sell well, which ones have a high return rate because they could put your store in jeopardy on Amazon specifically. And shoes is a crapshoot because people return shoes all the time. And you have to have the cash flow to absorb that returned inventory. And sometimes the returned inventory is destroyed, so they can't relist it. They can't, they can't reship it. So you just got to eat that cost. So there's a lot of different things that go into it, but it's not fast money. It's reliable money. It can be fast, but it does take a lot of time, and you have to put in a lot of effort to kind of learn the game. And you have to constantly feed the beast. So most really successful people that do this, where they're doing the retail arbitrage by Amazon or by eBay, they stock up throughout the year. They'll stock up, especially third quarter of the year. They're in the stores looking for deals so they could stock up for Christmas, because that's what we did. We stocked up everything for Christmas, and then when Christmas came, everything sold. And it didn't matter what it was. Everything sold. But you got to put in the grind. So June, July, August, going into September, right at the end of September is where you start getting that cutoff point. If you're mid-September and you're just starting, it's too late for the Christmas rush, because you have to give time for the items to get out to the warehouse and get, in time for it to get listed or whatnot. But the idea is you buy stuff on the cheap, sell it full price on Amazon. And the reason why people pay full price is because they may not live in a place where they're anywhere near any of these anywhere near any of these grocery stores or department stores or shoe stores or whatever. They're nowhere near any of this crap, and so they're fine with paying full price for it because it's more valuable to have it. And there's plenty of opportunities in it, but you got to put in the time, you got to put in the money, and you have to have a system to keep track of everything. So it's not quick or fast, and it's not easy. All right. Next one I'll get into, and then I'll go into the one I hear a lot about, but it's content creation. And this one is very broad. It's super broad. And I was even sold the bill of goods that you get on here, you just open up a channel, and it's just money pouring from the ceiling. All you got to do is find your audience, and it's money pouring through the ceiling. Specifically, you have to constantly feed the beast. You got to constantly be creating content that they're going to engage with. One. Two, you got to get monetized. And there's a whole system about getting monetized on YouTube. Three, AdSense money isn't really hitting like that. It's not the greatest check that you're ever going to get in the world. It's not going to change your life by any measure until you get huge audiences, until you get millions of people watching your content. Then you might have something there. But then YouTube is also known to make massive changes that really hurt creators. And especially if you're in the small or mid-tier kind of creator, you can watch your income go to zero like that. Specifically, I'll throw out an instance. There was the COPPA, whatever, COPPA thing that swept through YouTube, where YouTube hadn't really been keeping track of kids watching their videos, and there's a federal law that says kids cannot be served or tracked with cookies to serve them advertisement. And YouTube had been doing that, and there was a lot of children on the platform. Well, there's a lot of also creators that were creating stuff for kids in this space. And when they say children, they're talking about people under 13 years old. So there are a lot of people under 13 years old. There's a lot of content creators that are creating content specifically for kids under 13 years old. And they were still getting served ads, which wasn't federally allowed. And instead of YouTube finding a way to make it so that it wasn't putting cookies and tracking the traffic of kids on the platform, they just said screw it, and it put it all on the creators. And so a lot of creators that had spent years cultivating audiences of millions with kid programming that was educational. Now, there's a lot of crap out there, but educational stuff that they put their heart and soul into, they watched their channel get pretty much zapped overnight because it went over to the YouTube Kids app, and nobody's making money on the YouTube Kids app. So they had to watch this thing that they had built their entire lives around just shrivel up and die on the vine. And there's been other times when YouTube's made huge sweeping adjustments because of something they neglected to do. But that content creator money can be shaky at best. Now, there are things that you can put in with it, like if you're doing content creation and you're doing affiliate marketing, or you're doing content creation and you're selling digital products, you can make it into a viable business, and it does a lot better than the AdSense money, I'll tell you that. But you have to put in the time. You have to put in the gang of hours. And then you have to get your viewing time up. And I think it's like you have to have like 1,000 hours of viewing, 1,000 viewing hours in 1 year, something like that. And it seems easy, but it's really not that easy. Depends on what your audience is. But in order to get monetized, in order to get ads where they show ads in your videos and you get a percentage of the ad revenue, you have to reach a certain threshold on YouTube. So you have to spend the time growing your audience. You have to spend the time making the content, and you have to invest the time in editing videos that people want to see. Again, I'm being lazy with this because this would have been a YouTube video, but I got so many other videos I got to edit right now for clients that I just don't have the time to edit another video. So this is a live stream. Anyway, the point is you guys only got to feed the beast. You have to know your audience. You got to know what content they're going to jive with. I've seen content creators that aren't really filling the audience they built, and they try to switch audiences mainstream, and it doesn't work. It ends up torpedoing their channel. And instead of building a new channel, they try to pivot an existing channel into the content they want to talk about. And it's not successful most of the time, y'all. And you have to have a regular schedule. And if you really do want to do the digital products where you're selling digital courses, or a lot of photographers will sell their Lightroom, their Lightroom settings and stuff like that. You have to have a product that creates value for somebody for them to buy. Real estate. I've seen a lot of people talk about getting some chunks of real estate, and that's going to be their passive income strategy. Well, you can make a lot of money in real estate. You can also lose a lot of money in real estate. But end all be all is you're either going to invest time or you're going to invest money. And that's a bottom line. Sorry, y'all. There's no quick, fast way just to stumble into the real estate game. You have to invest on those two fronts. Otherwise, it will not work for you. If you have a bunch of properties that are falling down around people's ears, you will hear from the government, you will hear from local government, and you will hear from your tenants. You have to make sure that you have tenants that are going to pay you on time. I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into the managing the real estate piece of it. And it's not just this passive thing. Even if you hire a real estate, somebody who manages your properties, still got to pay them. And so you're going to invest time, you're going to invest money. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but you're going to make the investment at some point in time. All right. And now we're going to get into stuff like writing an ebook, or, I talked about selling digital products. Listen, if you're going to write an ebook, you can make a lot of money writing ebooks if you got a good audience, you got great content that people are willing to pay for. And ebooks is kind of the final frontier. You can do self-published books and sell them. But you have to constantly market those things. You have to have an audience that's hungry for them, and you have to spend time writing them. And I know one of the ones I've seen, and it was kind of intriguing for a minute, was low content ebooks, where they're coloring books or journals or things like that. And those move, but anytime you hear about it on social media, or anytime you hear about this new opportunity on YouTube, there's already a million billion people already in that space. And so you're competing with a lot of different people to sell those low content ebooks. If you want to move a coloring book, that's great. And there's literally apps that will help you create your own coloring book. But, you need to understand that you have to have something that really stands out. Otherwise, you're just going to be another fish in the sea for them. And you got to constantly market it. There's got to be a marketing system behind all of this stuff. Now, I know that there's a lot of them. I'm leaving out a lot of different ways that people are fast money and passive incoming their way into some coins. But here's the reality of it. Take a look at it like this. If you took any one of these and spent the time and energy learning them and getting super proficient at them, and you put in a year grinding away on any one of these things, you could have a stream of income that is durable. It's not this multifaceted thing, and it'll grow with you because you spent the time in learning how it works and cultivating it and feeding it and making and building it so that it lasts. But what happens is a lot of people dabble in this and dabble in that and jump in and out of these things. They try it for a second, and then it doesn't work. It doesn't give them the fast turnaround they're looking for, and then they abandon it to move on to the next thing. And then what happens is you have a graveyard of quick money hustles, passive income things, and the reality of it is you never invested any time in any one of them. You didn't invest time in any one of them. If you would have invested the time, like say you decided that you wanted to get into real estate, and you set your money aside and you learned the game, and you figured out what segment of the real estate market you wanted to get into. You wanted to do rental properties. Okay, great. You mastered rental properties. You learn how to figure out what's a good property for potential rental and what's not. And you put the money in. You set the system up so that you can collect your money on time. You have a system so that you can find the right tenants and everything. If you spent that time, you have an income stream that will last for a long time. It will last your lifetime and possibly your children's lifetime. But a lot of people will dabble in it. It doesn't make money right away, and instantly they're moving on to the next thing. Retail arbitrage is the one I've seen the most. I even was guilty of it, where I dabbled in it. I had really good success in it. I just didn't have the time to do it. I didn't want to make the time investment. I can always go back to it. I know how to do it. But the time investment was something that was something I wasn't willing to put into because I had other things going on that I thought would be more lucrative, and they turned out to be more lucrative. But it's something, if I put the time into it, I could grow it. Affiliate marketing is a great one I've seen, because I've seen people try to start a YouTube channel and then they get sucked into affiliate marketing, and because people aren't clicking on their videos, they're definitely not seeing the links, and so there's no way that they're moving any affiliate products, and especially the ones you got to pay for, because they're affiliate programs you have to pay to get into. That could end up being an expense really quickly. So, but if you invested your time in any one of these quick money, passive money strategies, and just focused on that and put a full-time effort into it and not try to half-ass it, part-time it, you can grow these passive income strategies into actually viable, durable businesses that kind of exist, that generate cash for you by themselves. But they are no longer passive, they're active. It's active income. You have to actually work for the income, and it can generate more money than any 5 or 10 passive income strategies that you want to try. But it's about investing the time to learn how the game is played. And that's, I think, what my problem with the way a lot of the passive income stuff is sold on YouTube specifically, but I've seen it in other places too. People sell it like it's this, you can just stumble in off the streets not knowing anything, not putting any time into it, not putting any money into it, and you can have the outcomes of their listing on the thumbnail where they say, you can make $100 a day. Well, they don't tell you that first you start out making 50 cents a day, and then you scale that 50 cents up, and now the 50 cents becomes $5 a day. And you keep building and getting proficient with it. And now that 50 cents, the initial 50 cents turns into $50 a day. And then eventually, a year from now, it can be $100 a day. They don't tell you the growth that it takes. They're telling you that you can instantly walk in and make that kind of money, and you cannot do that. I've seen content writers, because that's where my background is. When I first got into the market thing, was writing for other people, writing to sell stuff. I've seen content writers tell people that they can make an entire livable income by picking up freelance writing gigs on the internet. And unfortunately, that's not the case. You're in competition with the whole marketplace. You have to be better, or you have to deliver better price, or you have to develop better value, or you got to be cheaper than everybody else. And you build your portfolio so that you have something that's bulletproof, so that you can show versatility in the niche that you're in, so that you can start commanding those higher price points. But you got to put in the work. You have to develop a portfolio. You have to know where to find these freelance gigs. And realistically, you want that freelance gig, if you're a writer, to become more of a full-time gig where you're working for that magazine on their staff, or working on that website on their staff. You have to get proficient at it. You got to get good at it. So I think that's where I get frustrated with a lot of people, especially when they start talking this fast money, passive income stuff. Passive income is great. I like active income. I like income that I got to grind for, because I can scale that really easily. I can make that into something a lot bigger pretty quickly. And then once I get really proficient at it, I can find ways to automate pieces of it, so it becomes a little bit more passive. But if you create a cash generating business and you hire people to do the work that to hire people that you train them, and you hire them and train them. You don't train them and hire them. You hire them and then train them to do the job. You kind of do have a passive income stream. All you got to do is go in and manage it. You manage it for, 10, 20 hours a week, and the business kind of runs itself. But you have to put in the time to build it brick by brick by brick by brick by brick, so that you can move out of the day-to-day doing role and more into the management role. And so I know this is a little bit off topic, but that's what the next move is for me. I'm working on, I got a couple of video clients. I got a couple of marketing clients. I do want to kind of pivot I Sell Words into a video production company, more or less. And that means that I'm going to have to For a while, I'm going to be shooting the footage myself, but I'm going to have to hire people to do the stuff, and I'm going to have to train them how to do it. And then I can move into the part that I really want to move into, which is the strategy side of things, where I tell people, okay, so now we shot this content. This is how we maximize it. And this is what we use it for to drive business. It becomes less and less active as I build the bricks on top of it. But to tell people right off the street that you're going to be able to walk into this thing or take on this new affiliate program and instantly it's going to become passive income, that's not realistic. And I have a big problem with that. To tell people that they can just dive into real estate with no money and no experience, and it's gonna yield money for them. I can't abide by that, because it's not realistic. You're not being honest with people. You're selling them a bill of goods, because this stuff takes time or it takes money, and it's not passive, it's active. You have to actively do it. Even with, and let's be honest with you, even with dividend stocks, you have to be active. You have to actively make the money that you're going to use to buy your positions, to build your positions out. You got to actively be grinding to make that money. And if you're in my school of thought when it comes to investing, you're going to be actively monitoring your positions on a weekly basis. You're going to be paying attention to the companies that you purchased, that you bought into, to see what market forces are moving them. And you're going to constantly be evaluating, whether you need to put more money into this one or you need to pull some money back or whatever you're going to do with it. But it's active. The idea that you can just passively do that, that you're going to find this and this is going to passively pay you for the rest of your life is not realistic. You have to build it first. And once you build it, you can build it however you want to. And then you build it for the level of management that you want to have over it in 5 years. And then you strive towards that piece of it. And then you have a business that generates income for you in the background, and you are managing it, but you're not actively working in it on a day-to-day basis. Or maybe you are. Maybe you love this. This is what you want to do. And so you're actively working in it on a day-to-day basis. But you get to kind of pick your poison with that side of it. So that's all I got, y'all. I know a couple people popped in. I appreciate your time. And I'll probably be trying to do more of these. I got to get these videos out of my queue, though. So I got a couple of things. I got a couple projects I'm editing this weekend, trying to get these out so that I can get back to my regular content schedule. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Understand this. I'll leave y'all with this. Passive income is not a myth, but you got to work actively to get to the point where it becomes passive. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. Brian sells words. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Peace.